Billy's Meltdown, Traci and Kane connect, Tessa and Daniel bond. The Young and the Restless Monday, September 22nd, 2025, spoilers are in. In the next episode, fans can expect Traci Abbott, Beth Maitland, and Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to reconnect. Meanwhile, Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, opens up to Daniel Romalotti, Jr. Michael Grazide. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Traci Abbott returns. Let's start off with the most exciting news. Traci is finally coming back. In the episode on Monday, we will see her, but she will have a surprising reconnect ion with us. It is stated that Kane and Traci reconnect. Now, these two were once friends, right before Kane's exit in 2019. In fact, a romance was teased, even though it never came to fruition, so it'll be interesting to see Kane and Traci interact. Read more, find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Tessa Porter shows her face. He is perplexed by Mariah Copeland's, Cameron Grimes, special request over with Daniel. The man thinks that Mariah is going to be gone for a long time, or is planning to, at least. The man also warned Mariah not to make any stupid moves and that she didn't appear to be healing. Will Daniel tell Tessa about the meeting with Mariah? The singer does open up to Daniel, but will she tell him about Mariah's confession? If Daniel tells Tessa that it sounded like Mariah was going away for a while, that could open the door for something new. Of course, Tessa might feel guilty about moving on since Mariah tried to kill a man. Billy Abbott's shocking threat. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, September 22nd reveal that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, makes a shocking threat. Is he so cocky that he will get in Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, face? Is this a business threat, or a deadly one? In any case, Billy really seems to be spiraling and losing everyone in his corner. Billy didn't have many friends when he started, but he has lost Jack Abbott, portrayed by Peter Bergman, and Sally Spectra, portrayed by Courtney Hope. Additionally, given that Kane intends to use Billy as a scapegoat, how can anyone remain silent about this? Billy could end up in prison rather than gaining vengeance and authority, regardless of what other people think of him. Read this, spoilers for The Young and the Restless, shocking turns and twists that will shake Genoa City this fall, September 22nd, 2025. Monday. There is also Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, who invited Claire Grace Newman, Haley Erin, on a trip to Los Angeles with him. However, could something traumatic happen on their innocent getaway? On Monday, September 22nd, 2025, which storyline are you most excited to see? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Claire's Temptation, Lauren's Hunch, Billy's Setback. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of September 22nd, 2025. Fans can expect Claire Grace Newman, Haley Erin, to face temptation. Meanwhile, Audra Charles, Zuleika Silvers, plan backfires. There is also Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, who could be playing Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, not the other way around. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin's clue. Let's start off with Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Traci E. Bregman. It seems that Lauren will have a clue that Michael Baldwin, Christian LeBlanc, is keeping something from her. She probably knows him better than anyone else in Genoa City because they have been together for such a long time. The last time that Michael kept a secret from Lauren, it didn't go so well. Michael Baldwin covers. Michael is likely to be questioned by Lauren for answers and the truth. Despite how much he tries to cover, Lauren will know this has Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, fingerprints all over it. Each time Michael works for Victor, he ends up in a legal mess or in a foreign prison. Despite Michael's best efforts to reassure her, the wife will be dissatisfied. Billy Abbott's Setback. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of September 22nd reveal that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, has to deal with his setback. The situation with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, is getting really messy. Billy is already losing everyone and everything, including his romance with Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope. However, Kane thinks he is playing Billy. However, I'm starting to wonder if Billy is actually playing Kane and everyone else. Week of September 22, 2025. Fans will also see Audra try to corner Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, again. The brunette will attempt to settle things once more. However, the former doctor won't be interested. This might devastate Audra, but she's good at picking herself back up. Most likely, she will double down on efforts to get another job. Audra tends to bury herself in projects and work, but she could also have a meltdown. As Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, tries to find dirt on Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, he could end up losing Claire forever. However, Kyle is also urging them to escape, and Claire is correct. It's only going to put their issues on hold, not resolve them. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of September 22, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Billy's Meltdown, Traci and Kane connect, Tessa and Daniel bond. The long-awaited return of Traci Abbott. Traci Abbott's return to Genoa City is more than a nostalgic cameo, it's an emotional and strategic re-entry into a storyline that has been boiling beneath the surface for years. Fans of the show will remember her exit as bittersweet, with whispers of what could have been between her and Kane Ashby. Back in 2019, viewers were given a taste of chemistry, an almost romance that was cruelly cut short. Now, years later, Traci's reappearance comes at a time when Kane himself is trying to climb back into the Genoa City spotlight. The fact that spoilers already tease a reconnect ion between the two feels deliberate. Traci has always been the Abbott who values emotional honesty over corporate maneuvering, and Kane is desperately in need of someone who doesn't see him as just a schemer or opportunist. This pairing opens up several possibilities. Romantic revisit. Their rumored romance might actually come to pass, which would give both characters new depth. Traci has been without a strong love arc for years, and Kane's return begs for an emotional anchor. Strategic alliance. If romance doesn't bloom, they could form a bond of loyalty, Traci defending Kane against his critics, and Kane leaning on her wisdom as he navigates business rivalries. Abbott family tension. Jack and Billy may not be thrilled if Traci leans toward Kane, considering his questionable business moves and manipulative tactics. This could divide the Abbott family yet again. Traci's compassion is legendary, but she is not naive. She sees people for who they are, which means if Kane truly wants redemption, Traci might be the one to help him prove it. But if Kane is simply using her good nature as a cover for his schemes, Traci could become another casualty of his ambition. Kane Ashby, charming or calculating? Kane's return has been marked with suspicion. Fans have debated whether he's truly back to reconnect with his family and community or if he's playing an elaborate con. His current interaction with Billy Abbott shows he has no problem dangling bait in front of vulnerable people. He claims to have an AI program that could revolutionize Jabbo, but so far, this feels more like smoke and mirrors than substance. By reconnecting with Traci, Kane gains an emotional foothold. She could soften his image and make others consider giving him the benefit of the doubt. But this move might also be strategic. If Kane knows Billy is unraveling and Jack is distracted, aligning himself with Traci could be the perfect way to get back into Abbott good graces. Kane has always been charming, but underneath, there's often a layer of calculation. Is Kane truly capable of redemption, or is this just another scheme to protect himself while allowing Billy to suffer? This seems to be the central question that the writers are attempting to raise. Tessa and Daniel, a surprising bond. Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti, Jr. are a second storyline that has been simmering quietly but has the potential to burst into flames with devastating consequences. Spoilers suggest that Daniel is left shaken after his conversation with Mariah. Mariah's behavior has been erratic, defensive, and secretive, to the point where Daniel believes she may be preparing for an absence, or worse, a disappearance. He warns her not to make reckless choices, but Mariah is not in a stable place mentally or emotionally. Tessa, who has been loyal to Mariah through extraordinary trials, is left in the dark. She's already shouldering the weight of her wife's instability, and now Daniel steps into the picture. Their bond makes sense. Daniel has long been the person people go to when they need a non-judgmental sounding board. He listens. He doesn't pressure. He also doesn't constantly plot an angle, unlike most Genoa City residents. The decision that Tessa made to talk about her own fears to Daniel could signal the beginning of a new emotional connection. It may not immediately be romantic, but fans know how soaps work. Confidences lead to trust, and trust leads to blurred lines. Possible directions for this bond. Emotional confidants. Tessa opens up about her worries about Mariah, and Daniel opens up about his frustrations with Lily and Heather. The two of them then become pillars of support for one another. Guilt-ridden attraction. If Daniel hints that Mariah seems like she's about to leave, Tessa may feel abandoned. The natural intimacy of shared pain could spark attraction, one both will feel guilty about, especially if Mariah returns in a fragile state. Protective conflict. Daniel could position himself as someone protecting Tessa from Mariah's instability, which might fracture not just Mariah's marriage but also Daniel's already delicate standing with Lily. It's worth noting that Daniel has been on a path of redemption himself. Even if they are just platonic, pairing him with Tessa gives him more narrative weight and has the potential to start one of the most emotionally complex love triangles since the soap's inception. Billy Abbott's Meltdown, a dangerous spiral. Perhaps the biggest firestorm of Monday's episode is Billy Abbott's shocking threat. Billy is spiraling, and his self-destruction is now turning outward. The phrasing in spoilers, shocking threat, is deliberate. Billy has lashed out before, but lately, his impulsive choices have been paired with an alarming lack of allies. Sally is gone. Jack has pulled away. Victoria sees him as volatile. And Kane, ever the opportunist, is trying to set him up as the perfect scapegoat. So who is Billy threatening, and in what way? Victor Newman. This would be bold but believable. Billy may lash out in a display of bravado because he despises Victor's hold on Genoa City. But threatening Victor is never wise, it could trigger retaliation far beyond Billy's control. Kane Ashby. Billy could explode at Kane, especially if he senses he's being manipulated. A business threat or public exposure could be part of it, though Billy's erratic behavior might undercut his credibility. Family members. It's also possible the threat is less about violence and more about emotional warfare. He may threaten Jack or Traci, warning them that siding with Kane means turning their backs on him. The problem is that Billy is not thinking clearly. He is unable to make sound decisions because of his rage, grief, and shame. Threatening anyone, especially Victor, a powerful player, could be the very thing that brings him down. Claire's temptation and Holden's shadow. The subplot involving Claire Grace Newman continues to take on new turns as the Abbott drama and Tessa Daniel bond take center stage. Holden Novak inviting her on a trip to Los Angeles may seem innocent, but seasoned fans know better. Holden is a character who operates with charm, confidence, and just enough mystery to keep everyone guessing. His interest in Claire feels more predatory than romantic, and Claire's willingness to follow him could lead to a traumatic turn. Could she become ensnared in one of his schemes? Or will she find out that Holden is keeping a shocking secret from her that destroys her relationships at home? Meanwhile, Kyle is still snooping into Holden's past. If he discovers the truth too late, Claire could already be in danger, or she could see Kyle's mistrust as proof that they don't belong together. In any case, Claire is being tempted, and the consequences could determine her future role in Genoa City. Lauren's hunch, Michael's secret. Another thread to watch is Lauren Fenmore Baldwin's intuition. She has always been perceptive, and once again, she senses Michael is keeping something from her. This isn't new. Michael's loyalty to Victor has often forced him into secrecy, but Lauren has a breaking point. Her suspicion could spiral into confrontation, with Lauren demanding honesty. Lauren will feel betrayed if Michael is covering for Victor in yet another risky plan. She has stood by Michael through prison, danger, and betrayal before, but the more Victor pulls his strings, the more Lauren sees her marriage jeopardized. Michael's decision here will be pivotal. Will he protect Lauren from the truth or trust her enough to let her in? Either way, this subplot ties directly into the larger Newman-Abbott war, ensuring no one in Genoa City is untouched. Audra Charles, a plan backfires. Audra Charles has never been one to sit quietly when she's backed into a corner. She thrives on reinvention, manipulation, and using relationships as leverage. But her plan to corner Nate Hastings again could be her biggest misstep yet. Nate has already taken a step back from her. His patience is worn thin, and his boundaries are clear. Audra's refusal to accept no could push her into desperate territory. If she doubles down on manipulating Nate, she could alienate him for good and possibly destroy any chance at professional respect in Genoa City. That said, Audra has always been resilient. When she loses one game, she pivots to another. Her failed strategy could actually prepare her for her next big power play, possibly against Newman, Holden, or even Kyle. Billy's setback, or his secret strategy. Billy's upcoming major setback is also hinted at during the week of September 22nd. On the surface, this looks like confirmation that Kane has outmaneuvered him. But what if it's the other way around? What if Billy is letting everyone believe he's spiraling, when in reality, he's quietly planning a counterattack? Soap history shows us that Billy is often underestimated, seen as reckless rather than strategic. But perhaps this time, he's using that perception to his advantage. Could it be that Kane isn't playing Billy at all, but Billy is actually playing Kane and maybe even Victor into a trap? If that's the case, Billy's story could be at a crossroads here. Instead of being Genoa City's perpetual screw-up, he could emerge as a dark horse strategist, willing to burn bridges and manipulate others just as ruthlessly as his rivals. Wrapping it together, the week ahead. As all these threads weave together, here's what fans can expect from the coming episodes. Traci and Kane, emotional reconnect ion that could spark romance or family conflict. Tessa and Daniel, growing bond fueled by Mariah's instability, opening the door to a dangerous emotional triangle. Billy Abbott, a shocking threat and a potential downfall or a master plan that turns the tables. Holden and Claire, temptation, danger, and secrets that could break her connection to Kyle. Lauren and Michael, marital strain as Victor's shadow once again tests their trust. Audra Charles, a failed scheme that pushes her into reinvention or deeper desperation.